So in my previous video, I said that there was gonna be no more Tour Series videos, and when I said that at the time, I was frustrated because we had a decent round at Barking Tour Series for the penultimate round, but I filmed the whole video from the front-facing camera in time-lapse format. I don't know why the camera did that, but it did, and the video footage, I just thought I was just gonna scrap it. But then I sat down and I thought, you know what, maybe there is actually something that we can do with this, and I'm gonna try and slow the footage down as much as I can and explain to you and talk you through the sprint step by step in terms of like my positioning, my choice of wheels, and why I did what I did. We have also got the back facing camera recording like normal with the power data overlay, so hopefully that will give you a good perspective of the sprint. So without further ado, here is the final few laps of the Barking Tour Series race. There was a breakaway of 4 which chipped away about 10 laps to go, containing my teammate Ollie, so we were racing for 5th. But because the Tour Series is a team classification with the top 3 guys over the line counting towards the overall points, it was all still to play for in the bunch sprint. But before we jump into that, a quick message from the sponsor of today's video. So today's video has been very kindly sponsored by Shokz. The Shokz Open Run are 26-gram bone conduction headphones that keep your ears uncovered whilst you're listening to music, and I absolutely love them. I first came across the brand in around 2013 when I bought one of the original pairs of wired bone conduction headphones, and I was absolutely mesmerized by the bone conduction technology, allowing the airway to stay open whilst you're listening to music, making them perfect for riding safely whilst still being able to hear for any potential dangers. Which actually isn't that much down this country lane that I'm currently riding down, but if there was a car to come past right now, I'd be able to hear it no problem. All I can hear right now is the birds tweeting around me and the beautiful tones of Ed Sheeran playing in my ears. Shokz have come on leaps and bounds since 2013, and this latest model boasts a titanium frame for a secure fit, IP67 waterproof, they provide 8 hours of music, and they only weigh 26 grams. Literally, this mouse weighs more than the headphones. And last but not least, they are housed in a silicone mold, which literally makes them stick to your head. Which means even if you do a headstand, they're not going anywhere. See, the sound quality is surprisingly impressive, especially given the fact that they work via bone conduction and there's not actually any sound going into your ear. They also pack a decent bass as well. So check out the link in the description if you want some more information on these Shokz headphones. On with today's video. So this particular round of the series was, in my opinion, the least technical round, or it was certainly the least technical round that I did myself. It was essentially just a big rectangle. 3 of the corners were completely flowing, so you didn't need to brake whatsoever. There was one 90-degree turn where you did have to brake, and it came pretty narrow. It was almost the only pinch point of the race, which is this corner you can see right now on screen. So yeah, other than that, it was pretty much an uneventful race. There was a few different moves, there was a few different breakaway attempts. I was in a little move for a while, but then ultimately Ollie got away with 3 other riders. I'm not gonna dissect the race itself. If you want to go and watch, you can always go and watch the race. It is on YouTube. If you search the Tour Series 2022, the whole race is there, so you can kind of see from a bird's eye perspective what happens. But we are going to analyze the final few laps, and I'll explain to you the wheels that I was following and why I was following those particular wheels. As you can see at this point, the gantry banner is showing 56 minutes, just over 56 minutes done, which means we've got about 10 laps of racing left to go, maybe a couple of laps left. You can see here I am sat about 6th wheel. There is 2 Canyon riders in front of me, one of my teammates, Harry, a Welsh Racing Academy rider, and one of the foreign guys who's come over for this race, one of the Global 6 cycling team riders, I think that's what they're called. But anyway, I'm sat 6th wheel, which is, I think, a pretty good wheel to sit on. We've been racing for an hour. People are starting to get tired, so if you've got the gas to be there, it's much easier to be there later on in the race when everyone's tired, if that makes sense. So I'm going to hit play right now, and as you can see, I'm kind of hovering on this Welsh Racing Academy's wheel, but I ideally want to be on my teammate's wheel. So Harry came up and had a chat with me at some point and said, yo,
So there, I'm going to skip it back a little bit. And that is the point where Harry comes up next to me. He's on my left-hand side, and he says to me, sit on my wheel. I will take you, I will guide you through the bunch. And Harry is a very experienced rider. He's ridden at the World Tour for a number of years, and he knows his way around the bunch. You know, there's no two ways about that. So yeah, he's a good wheel to follow. And if we skip to, if we show the back-facing camera at this point, there is a number of guys behind me, and everyone is fighting to get on Harry's wheel, because everyone knows if you're on his wheel, he is probably going to end up at least towards the front by the time the race is finished. So it's a good wheel to be on. It's as simple as that. So we are well into the final few laps of the race. As you can see, I am firmly planted on the back of Harry. There is a few people on my left and right fighting for the wheel, and there is a point actually, maybe coming up shortly, where I lose his wheel for, you know, 50 meters, and that was the most panicked I was all race, because I was like, I need to get back on his wheel. But yeah, we come through the dead stop corner there. I'm in a prime position, I think. Yeah, as you can see, people left and right. It's carnage. Now, because it is a relatively untechnical circuit, that means it was fast. I think our average speed was up near 50k an hour. I'm not sure off the top of my head. This was the average speed of the race. So it was a fast race, which makes it super hard to actually move up in the bunch when the pace is on. Because it wasn't super narrow though, when the pace wasn't on, when the bunch wasn't riding full gas, it was easy to move up. So you constantly had this washing machine effect where, you know, people would be able to move up the outside when the pace dropped off, but then when the pace was on, it was very hard to move up. So yeah, it was a simple case of be at the front, and you're going to be saving yourself a lot of pennies. You just make your life much easier, to be honest, much easier when you're at the front, which is weird to say, but it's because it's harder to get to the front. You got to have the fitness and the energy and the effort and the power to get to the front. But once you're at the front, it's much easier to stay at the front and be at the front. So this is the point right now where I lose Harry's wheel. As you can see, I just got a little bit swamped, pushed out of the line a bit, but there, bang, as quick as I could, I just jumped to the outside, decided to take a bit of energy, a bit of wind, and just battered it to get back on his wheel, because it was a simple case of now or never. Once that wheel's gone, it's so hard to find it again in a bunch like that. We're racing for the line. I think we're on the last lap now. Yeah, this is the last lap. As you can see, there is probably 10 guys in front. We're a little bit out of position here, but this is where Harry comes into his own, and it's probably going to be a bit too hard to see on the camera, but we are literally taking the scenic route to the finish line, and boom, there's the line, as quick as that. I wish that wasn't a time lapse, because that would have been so cool to see with some power data. But essentially what happened there was we got boxed in. There was guys on the left and there was guys on the right, because the final corner is on a slight uphill left-hander. So yeah, you had guys going from the bottom of that climb around the corner into the line, which is too far. It's too far because it's so much harder to sprint uphill. Physics, just physics. Now we knew this. We knew that we couldn't unleash the sprint until after the corner. But when you're trying to compete against guys that are going early, you've got to, you know, make your own decision and make your own moves of which wheels you follow in anticipation of who's gonna blow up early. And as you maybe hopefully saw from that footage, there was guys who's going pop left and right. So what I'm going to do right now is flip it to the back facing camera, and this is the final few hundred meters from the back facing camera. So the power is right up there. We're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 watts. It's fully lined out. Yeah, we're coming up to the last corner here. This is the slight uphill. You can't really tell from the camera. It's a slight uphill drag into this left corner, and then bang, now's the time to go. As you can see, my power spikes up to well over 1,000 watts, and it's just a full gas sprint to the line. Oh, mate, he nearly hit me, I reckon. He nearly hit me, that PB rider. He nearly went into the back of me. But yeah, that was essentially the sprint. It happened also very fast. I came across the line third in the sprint. I think Harry was second in the sprint. So yeah, I was 7th overall. It was a very close finish sprint. I'm going to try and put the picture on the screen right now. We had to kind of take the scenic route through the last 100, 200 250 meters, so he didn't kind of have a clear run at the sprint. But all in all, I think that was a pretty good effort. It's always chaotic in those sprints at the end. Yeah, it's always hard to know which side to sprint on. You have to make some rational decisions in that moment, which, yeah, in hindsight, you might look back and think that was a stupid thing to do, or that was the wrong thing to do. But when your heart rate's up at over probably 200 BPM, it's, yeah, very hard to make the correct decisions, and that's what puts, you know, people like Mark Cavendish and other guys so much further ahead of everyone else, because they're able to make, you know, the right decisions in those stressful moments. Obviously, he's got a few more watts on people like me, but, you know, but anyway, that is my analysis of the final few laps. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. I'm trying to convince British Cycling to let me use my camera in more races, so yeah, some likes in this video will go a long way. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, I get my bop on. If she needs some good, tell her she can hop on. She know I'm the top dog. I know she a hot one. Balenci's on the feet, and you know I got the socks on. She said with my high sauce, she ain't with no knockoff. See them, we gon' pop off.